Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you guys are. This is Eric Lacoste from Tracklicious Sim Racing here for our penultimate round of our GT4 doubleheader at Laguna, Seca. I think we're in for an exciting race. Welcome everyone from 949. Phil, thank you for the raid. Greatly appreciate it. Got to watch a bit of the race over at 949. Looked like another phenomenal race from that community. So we're in tonight for a double header format, as opposed to our more usual triple headers. So it's going to be a bit of a change for our drivers today, a bit more time if there are errors out on track as we follow the lovely and ever appetizing Nutella livery by Reggie King and the boys. So within the team, I believe it's Ali Raza, Reggie King, and Jason Provolone. So really cool livery. As we've mentioned before, quite a few food-based liveries. A lot of hungry people over at Tracklicious. So definitely one that stirs the appetite. So while we are getting ourselves ready, let's have a quick look and see what the standings are. All right, so we are looking at our overall point standing, Division 1 and Division 2. Let's focus on the Division 1 as Mr. Carbon, a.k.a. Danny Basin, has pulled out of the championship to pursue some more exciting things. Andres Maltachero takes the lead. Carbon still being a solid contender, sticking with the second place, followed by Riley Manier. Now, we've seen Riley this year focus on a little bit more iRacing, which I think has definitely hurt his pace a little bit, but given that the raw talent that he has, it always manages to find himself challenging for that first, second, third place finish. So even with the lack of attention to ACC, he's just an incredible driver all in and performs extremely well in this series. Coming in fourth, Joseph Kostovich and Ed Kerstetter in fifth, Ali Raza sixth, Maltachero seventh. Take it to the top 10, Snyder in eighth, Reggie King in ninth, and closing out the top 10 in Div 1 is Professor Kenotis. Going over to Div 2, a phenomenal performance and improvement in pace compared to some previous sessions. Jeremy Engelman in the Maserati, the 747 Maserati. Pretty solid lead, but a hungry Justin Beachley in the Beach GT McLaren coming in second place. Very hungry for that first place finish, I'm sure. Then comes Andrew Pickrell, Tanner Masters, fellow teammate of Engelman's in the Maserati. Beltan, a.k.a. Robert Lewis from 949 with the 949 car in fifth. Eric Miller in sixth. Jose Bravo in seventh. Cody Wasson eighth. I believe that's Armando Iglesias in ninth, and then myself in 10th, who races when broadcasting is covered. So hopefully we'll get to go back in that last race should we find a streamer to help us out in that last race. But that closes out your top 10 for both divisions. You can see the rest on there. Let's hop back and have a quick look and see what's going on as we are settling into our practice session, getting warmed up for qualifying. Mr. Jakob Padberg, a recent entry to Tracklicious Sim Racing as he goes a bit wide, finding the limits of the track. Does well to save it, joining Justin Beachley in the Beach GT McLaren. all the audio is coming through okay for everyone, and the levels are okay. Please let me know if you'd like me to up or lower some of the noises coming in, or sounds coming through. Game is a bit loud. Homeschool, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome, everybody. We're just getting ready for our round 8 of our GT4 championship at Laguna Seca. Thank you. How'd your race go, Homeschool? Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Positive is definitely better than negative, so good to see that there was an improvement on track. Hey, John. Nice to see you. A bit late for where you are, so glad to see that you're awake enough to join. I have to admit, it's a little bit awkward for me being on this side of the conversation. I'm usually the one creeping around on Twitch and trying to find more sim racing friends, so I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you again so much to you guys for rating and sticking around. Hopefully we'll be able to put on a good show for you. I know these guys are going to go at it on track, and with Laguna being a relatively difficult track to pass at, I expect that we're going to see quite a bit of action, so I'm excited to see what tonight has to offer for everyone. The only thing that you're going to have to deal with is the less than optimal performance by your commentator tonight, so bear with me. Hopefully everything goes smoothly after our terrible stream last time around. Had a lot of technical difficulties, but hopefully we have that sorted out. Oh, thanks, Homeschool. Yeah, one day when we don't have adult responsibilities and all we could do is race 24/7, sim race all day and all night. It'd be optimal, wouldn't it? Let's hop down to Mr. Kosovic here as he gets himself prepared for his qualifying session. The lovely 949 sim racing Mercedes. It's so cool. Yeah, homeschool, that's what I was trying to do, and then had our first kid, and then had the second kid, and now the third kid's on the way, and we still haven't figured out how it keeps happening. You know, I've looked at this livery quite a few times, and every time I hop back into it, I notice a little bit more detail and more appreciation for the 494 of Kostovic's car, and the more appropriately named 949, which is in the pit. So let's pop back to Kosi smoking some tires out in Laguna Seca. Hi V, thanks for joining. Hoping for some exciting racing from the Mastachero brothers. I have to admit, it's such a cool thing to have two brothers interested in the the same hobby, and for them both to be as quick as they are. Very curious to know how competitive they are in the background with each other. And actually, I don't know what the age gap is between them. Are they close in age or pretty far? I'm not sure. But both very quick drivers. We saw Diego bringing the fight to Andres last week, so that was exciting to see. He's getting a little bit more pace. Acosti popping up in second in practice, which is very well expected as we... Oh, cool. 6. So we have the Emperor's Groove, no touchy in the back, looking at Vivacious's awesome livery that she's created in chat. Vivacious from Steez Nation, representing the mad skill and artistic ability that it takes to create liveries, and one of the better ones at that, with the beautiful combination of the black, red, and gold representing the Peruvian heritage of the Mastachero brothers. V, I would love to see your liveries driven by you on track. That's a day that we will celebrate when that happens. Get some more lovely female representation in our sim communities. Feel like it might be a little biased right now. I'm not sure, but just a little bit. Let's hop back into, or back to Mike Burkhoff's car. So, Mike's one of the veterans here at Traco Sim Racing, as we have 11 seconds left in free practice. Mike's pace and speed is incredible. Now, Mike is nursing an injury on his wrist, so he's practically driving one-handed. I don't even know how he's been shifting. I think he uses like a button to downshift and, you know, the regular shifter paddle to upshift or something like that. But even with, let's call it his handicap and quite severe, going at 50% appendages to control your steering wheel, he's been putting down some phenomenal laps and insane racing. A really fun guy to battle around, very respectful on track, as most of our drivers are. So I think he's gonna be one of the drivers to watch out for in this race. Is sometimes he tends to underperform to what our expectation is of him in the qualifier, but then come the race, I mean, his racecraft is incredible, so he manages to make all of that back up. Pop into the 949 Mercedes. Oh, as he finishes his lap, settling in for 11. So let's see, any surprises out on track in our practice. Jose Bravo, in 6th. That's a hell of a pace for Mr. Bravo there, as we reset and go into qualifying. So We've put in a minute of dead time in which expect Mr. Iglesias to pop back into the pits as he gets a note. Let's just fly through some of the cars here. The Tacos Locos cars. So just to be fair, we popped in a minute of dead time, of which those cars are just lining up at the end of the pit lane here, just to ensure that the Div 2 drivers have enough time to set their cars up. And as they come through, we see the safety car Audi, of which I assume is Mr. Alvarez and Cody Wassam. And as they go out, Tacos Locos, Beach GT, safety car, the Good Humor Camaro. I'm sorry, I forget. I believe they're called. I don't know what that team is called. I need to go back and look. And then Mr. Iglesias going out for his lap. I think this is either Tanner Masters or probably Tanner Masters going out in the Maserati. Brave Souls and Mr. Frank Barney coming in, closing off that Div 2. So while they're in their out lap, let's go through here and look at our ETK livery here. A little BMG reference from Mr. Snyder and Munir. Chrono, the bright yellow / green, purple Aston Martin. Oh, Tansky with us today. Awesome. Tansky, relatively new driver to Track Alerts Sim Racing. Been doing a really good job at times. Kind of up and down, Mr. Tansky. See you do really, really well in some of the races, and a little bit of room for improvement in some of the other ones. This is a new livery. I haven't seen this one. Curious who this is. Number 19, Andy Oak. Wow. Mr. Oak representing, I'm sure that's a Brazilian color combination. Hey, Muff. Thanks for joining us. So let's pop back in here to our outlap drivers. This Jose Bravo really been eager to go out relatively early. As you see the color difference between Mr. Bravo's yellow wheels and Mr. Orozco's green wheels. And as of recent times, we've found Orozco finding a bit of pace relative to Bravo. Bravo found a pretty decent driver in that he finds himself pretty high in the mid-pack, I'd say, and Orozco closing the gap to his teammate. So very impressed by his improvement over the season this year, or this league session, I should say. Yeah, V, those Brazilian colors have always been amazing, as you often see in their soccer jerseys, the bright yellow, bright blue, and the green to follow. Very colorful people as well. Known a couple of Brazilians in my time and met a bunch while traveling. Really nice people. So they'll manage to put down 2, maybe a third lap, depending on how quickly they cross the line here. So yeah, they will manage to put in a third lap. So 133, Bravo topping the charts from all the ones that cross the line. So we have Bravo, Orozco, and Pickrell goes in first. So we have Pickrell, Bravo, Orozco, Cody Wassam, Constable Cody, Justin Beachley, Eric Miller, and some of the others yet to post a lap. So pretty good pace, again, as expected from Bravo. I think we might see some improvement from Cody, as we do see his deltas are up. Eric Miller also 2/10 up on his lap so far, so why don't we pop in with him here, maybe go into the driver cam and see how his kart control is. Bit of a correction going up the hill into the corkscrew. And for those that haven't been to Laguna Seca, the corkscrew is as blind as this sim shows that it is. There is no seeing where that corner goes. So quite a fantastic representation of the track. Eric Miller finding a lot of time. Huge gains. Hopefully he doesn't get held up by his teammate up ahead, which is Cody Wasserman. Actually might get a tow. Let's see where that pops him into as they go in for their last and final lap. So for those who cross the line before the 5-minute marker, they will get to go again. And then anyone past that will have to retire their lap. As our Div 1 drivers start rolling out, Miller pops into second place. Amazing. Wassam just ahead, gaining a 10th. So 6 tenths to be gained to Andrew Pickrell in first place. And then Bravo just 200ths behind. But looks like Bravo has invalidated his lap and gone back to pit, so. Cody finding a heck of a line through the corkscrew there. Goes a bit wide. He's going to lose some time there, yep. But still positive on his delta. He might gain a place or two with that performance there. Miller really pressuring from behind, looking for some more time, but close enough to get Pickrell? I don't think so. Ooh. As Cody trumps for second place, and then Miller immediately gets it back. So in our Div 2, we have Pickrell, Miller, Wasson, Beachley, Bravo, Iglesias, Orozco, Barney, Masters, Versosa, as I've been corrected, another Brazilian, and got Denny P, Dylan Smith, and Robert Lewis. I think choosing to start at back, but might be coming in with some issues or penalties. So on with Mr. Padberg. As he has to deal with the automatically adjusting brake bias that comes with the McLaren and GT4. I know I've heard to be a challenge at times. I can't say that I've explored it enough myself, but those who learn to deal with it, I think say that it does a pretty good job at optimizing that. So Padberg pops himself into first place with a 32.0, quickly beaten by Munir with a 31.9. Raza in second, 31.9. So another 300ths between the two drivers, Ali Raza and Riley Munir, who've been battling it out over the last couple of races, doing a great job in the battles that they have. Ali made qualifying on pole in, I think, 2 or 3 of the races at Kailami, I think we were at last week. Phenomenal 1-lap pace, but just not doing quite enough to to hold the lead as Riley putting huge amounts of pressure. Oh, it was Barcelona, I'm sorry, not Kalami. Huge amounts of pressure onto him, forcing him into the air as Padberg invalidates his lap. So let's hop to Mr. Kostovic. See what he has to offer as he's 3/10 up from his lap, currently in 5th place. The 3/10 would find him a couple of places with only 30 seconds left in the lap. So right now we have Riley Menier. Oh, Diego Masachero popping himself into 1st place. Again, like we said, Diego's been showing some improvement in his pace. Phenomenal lap that he's put down, and he has the opportunity to put down yet another one as Riley pips the pole position yet again. And Raza going into 1st. So what a heated battle for this pole position as these guys set themselves up for the race. So Raza in 1st, Menier in 2nd, Masachero in 3rd, Andres in 4th. Diego in 3rd, Andres in 4th. So Kostovic coming in with quite some time in hand, half a second up from his previous, which would get him in 3rd, I believe, depending on how he closes this lap out. Goes in 2nd. That Mercedes finding great time on track. So we have Raza going in for yet another lap, trying to improve on his pole position. Make sure he defends from Riley Menier, who's 3/10 up, which would. So I gotta show you guys this if I can do it in time. So just the overlay here, showing you what's going on. So we got Raza a 10th or 2 up, Riley Menier 4/10 up, with 2/10 gap between them from their previous lap. So this battle is extremely heated right now as I pop it into the live screen. They are neck and neck for time. Riley going around the bend, finishing up his lap 5/10, 6/10 up as Raza coming in right behind. Pops into 1st. Is Raza able to take it for the pole position? No, he is not. Just 0.04 of a second separating the two. What a phenomenal performance by the two guys. Wow, I'm out of breath and we haven't even started the race yet. Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Riley just bringing in that innate talent that he's got and using it to pop himself into 1st place, pole position. Great job, Riley. And also great job, Ali. Like, you guys, man, it's such a fun group to watch. Woo! All right, so let's take a quick view of the liveries here as we go down the list. Riley Menier with the ETK team, the BeamNG livery, 1st place, pole position. Ali Raza, 2nd in the Nutella livery, Aston Martin. 3rd place, Joseph Kostovic in the 949, the flat finish 949 with the Carter Racing School badge there. Ooh, a little bit of Trackless Sim Racing. Thank you guys for that. The 4th place, Diego, yet again, pipping his brother. Diego, congrats. I knew it. You found some pace, really. Great job. Found some pace over the past couple of weeks. It's been really cool to watch, and hopefully you guys can create a little bit of barricade and firm up your positions in 4th and 5th as you hopefully make your way forward. And going into the Padberg Beachley Left-Hand Brewing Beach GT McLaren. Man, Engelman, I don't know how you do it, dude. Maserati in 7th place. That's awesome. Livery designed by Mr. Tanner Masters, one of our lovely livery creators here at Trackless Sim Racing, where it matters how fast you go and how good you look doing it. Going into the Snyder in 8th, Burkhoff in 9th in the Good Humor Camaro, followed by Pickrell in 10th in the Good Humor Camaro. Nutella Provolone in 11th. Safety car Miller in 12th. Safety car Wassam in 13th. Left-hand Bruin Beachley in 14th. Bravo Tacos Locos in 15th. Iglesias standalone team in the gunmetal Camaro in 16th. Orozco Tacos Locos Dos in 17th. Barney in this cool looking GT4 Porsche. Cool color combination. Tansky riding solo as well. Tanner Masters 20th. Dan Versosa in 21st. We're talking about the cool looking livery he's got here. Ooh, just noticed a little bit of colorful detail in there. Another Brazilian on track. Oh, he was talking about a Brazilian flag that I hadn't noticed before. There it is. And before we get rolling, I really want to know what these guys' team name is. The Slow Car Club in the HMS Racing. We got Denny P and Smith, I believe. And close off the grid with Andy Oak and Beltan starting from the back. Interesting. All right, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to be fun. So it is a double header tonight, 2 30-minute races. Yeah, V, I love when people put little details. Unfortunately, we don't really get to see them while we're racing. It's kind of cool thing about broadcasting is that I have the opportunity to get into a little bit more detail. But, yeah, this is going to be exciting. I mean, these guys up front all the way down to Padberg, Engelman, Snyder, Burkhoff, Pickrell. I mean, these guys are all extremely good racers. Manir Razakosevic definitely going to be going at it. Masachero's right behind. Padberg has a tendency to make a couple of mistakes here and there, breaking in a little bit deep and getting his ambition getting the better of him at times. But his raw pace is definitely there as he shows us in qualifying. And what is also cool that I'm appreciating as I look at it is it's not just one car dominating the grid at Laguna Seca, having the BMW, Aston Martin, Mercedes, and then the McLaren in 5th, Maserati in 7th. Again, I don't know how Mr. Engelman, a.k.a. Jet, in the 747 Maserati does it, but great car control, great pace, and shown us some good racing as well. Just a quick check before we get the race started. Is the audio all okay? Hopefully. I've just been blabbering with crazy audio levels right now. Hopefully my sound coming through clearly, and even more so hoping that you guys are hearing the cars on track okay. Alrighty, as we come around the final corner, get ourselves set up for race 1 of round 8. Tracklicious Sim Racing GT4 Winter Championship 2022. And we are about to go green. Green, green, green. Looks like Raza got a really good start. Going into T1, everyone trying to find their position. Riley doing a good job, giving it a little bit of room, being respectful, but Raza not quite enough to get that position on track. So far, it looks like everybody coming through cleanly as we look in the background. A little bit of an off for someone in the back there. Riley pulling a little bit of gap as the Masacheros and Kosovic in the back are fighting for position. As our timer goes crazy back here. Looks like the Masacheros have found their way through. Kosovic making a bit of an error to one of the corners, giving it a little bit of room for the Masacheros and Padberg to come through, taking in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th positions as he drops down into 6th. Padberg doing a good job of maintaining his position as Riley and Raza pull out up ahead as these drivers in the back keep battling. Kostovic really looking to gain that position back from Andres or Diego. Oh, unfortunate. How unfortunate for Diego. Looks like got not as good a start as his brother. But, well, looking forward to seeing you get there, Diego. Minimize some of the little mistakes, and I'm sure we'll find you ahead of your brother soon. So, going through the list here as we see some of the tight battles. Riley and Ali up ahead, building themselves a gap in 1st and 2nd. Masachero with the fastest lap. Andres in 3rd place. Padberg 4th. Diego 5th, with Kostovic putting a lot of pressure onto Diego to try and find himself back into that 3rd position that he qualified in. Engelmann still in 7th. A little bit of pressure from Snyder on the outside, so let's go and look and see how this battle is looking. Snyder really hungry for that 7th position as Engelmann tries to wrangle that Maserati. A bit of a slide coming out of the corner. As the 2 Chevys in the back, teammates battling for position as well. Picro finding himself ahead of Burkhoff, having qualified in the back. Goes a little wide, loses a bit of speed. Let's see if Burkhoff takes that opportunity to make up a place, but not into the kink, I don't think. But really close battle over here between Engelmann, Snyder, with Pickrell and Burkhoff looming in the background as Pickrell goes for a little bit of a look, but isn't quite enough to make it work. So let's look at Pickrell trying to make this move on Snyder as we see Provolone sniffing for blood in the background. Look at this view over here. Oh, as Engelmann goes a little bit wide coming into the front straight. That's the last place you want to make a mistake. Lots of time to lose going down this really long straight as we see Snyder making up that place out of the error that Engelmann has. But I'm sure Engelmann will be fighting to make it back. So Pickrell trying to take advantage of the situation as closes up that gap. Going a little bit wide, but so not only is it busy up front, but we got quite a few people behind him as well. Oh, as he goes wide, Burkhoff takes advantage of the situation. Just Provolone able to do so as well. Not quite, again, respectful on all accounts. Everyone giving each other space. Really clean first couple of laps. Impressive from everyone out here. I don't see anyone that's quite had any issues. Everyone looking like they're still on track. Masters into the pits, unfortunately, as I say that. Not sure for what reason, but a big battle between Tansky and Lewis. Is Robert Lewis, aka Beltan from 949, coming in from the back all the way up to 17th already. Huge, almost 10 places that he's made up so far, and we're sure that he's going to be continuing to move forward. Let's look and see what's going on with Miller coming into the back here. Miller also another one of our drivers who used to be a more of an ACC driver, but now has shifted over to iRacing a little bit, finding some really good pace given the amount of time that he's spent on the sim for ACC. So hunting down Provolone as Provolone tries to make a move on Pickrell up ahead. Orozco looming, oh no, sorry, that's Bravo looming in the background with the yellow wheels. Let's go back up to Kostovic, putting a lot of pressure on Mr. Padberg. Jakob, probably our youngest entrant in the Trackology Sim Racing League at 15, 16, I believe, with his very uncomfortable rig, not really hindering his performance. Phenomenal pace by young Mr. Padberg here, but is it enough to hold Kosi behind him? I'm not sure. Kosi showing us great skill and consistency. Unfortunately, Mr. Padberg makes a mistake and allows Kosi to go through. So move done by Joseph Kostovic. looking ahead, hunting down Andres Massachero, as they have been in many a battle together. Let's pop back. So Raza still keeping close within half a second of Riley. I expect that these two are going to stay close through the race. And Riley's going to give him a hell of a time through the race. As he makes a mistake. Let's see how he's going to be able to, if he's going to be able to take advantage of the mistake. Unfortunately, for Raza, that BMW having incredible straight line speed, not being quite enough for Raza to make too much of a move, but super close. Pop into the... So Ali respecting the sticker behind Riley's car and not killing him, but getting incredibly close between the two. You know, this season has been such an incredible season to watch with how close our top guys have been. I mean, we're already, what? I don't even know how many laps in. 5, 6 laps in, and these guys 4 laps in, and these guys are still bumper to bumper. And honestly, I don't expect there to be much of a gap moving forward. These guys are going to go at it. And Raza, again, finding a little bit of room here as Riley makes yet another mistake, avoids him. Trying to be respectful, but that's going to cost him so much time, unfortunately. So let's pop back and see if we can find any other cars out there. So Raza doing the right thing, avoiding the collision, but unfortunately not being able to take advantage of the error that was made by Riley Munir. So let's see if he's able to keep up the pace and maybe put some pressure on Riley as he's made some mistakes. You know, it's not usual that we see Riley Munir making mistakes like that. So I think the pressure from Ali has been working, or he may have made a bad call on tire pressures or something like that. I don't think he's had any contact, so I don't think it's a damage concern. So going to the middle of the pack here as we see a really close battle between Diego Miller and Bravo, as Bravo tries to take on Miller. Miller tries to take on Diego. Miller going wide. This is going to be an opportunity for Bravo to sneak through, and he does. You know, it's interesting how it is difficult to pass here at Laguna Seca, but it's also easy to make a mistake. So the patience has paid off for Bravo in that he's been able to stick with the person ahead, force Miller into the error, given that he hasn't been racing ACC as much and more so into iRacing and managed to come up ahead. So let's see if Bravo is going to be able to catch up to Diego, if not just catching up, but also overtaking Diego as he goes through the remainder of the laps, as we have 20 plus minutes left in the race. So going back down to Provolone hunting down Andrew Pickrell. Provolone always showing great pace in all of our races, sticking with Pickrell, both really fast guys, keeping it close in the battle here. Don't see much happening in the straight. Gonna get a little bit of draft, but let's go to the Snyder-Padberg battle. Let's go to Padberg and look at this wing cam. Really close battle. Snyder hunting down Mr. Padberg, trying to see if he could force him into an error, as we've seen before from Jakob. He's got incredible pace, but I think sometimes his youth gets to him a little bit in that whether it's nerves or ambition or eagerness, makes it a little bit of a mistake here and there. And if he's able to calm it down, a little bit of sand on the right side gives Snyder the opportunity to go through, and Burkhoff taking advantage as well, as we see Burkhoff sneak through. Jakob, a little bit of consistency, tone it down just one notch. I think you're going to be able to keep these guys at bay. But again, as we said, difficult to overtake if no one's making a mistake, but these mistakes are coming in plenty. So good job by Snyder with sticking with him, remaining consistent and patient, and forcing Mr. Padberg into an error. So Engelman now right behind Padberg, hunting him down in that lovely red Maserati. So Engelman on Padberg, Padberg on Burkhoff. Engelman, oh, a little bit too wide, a little too eager. He had the line, he had the position, but a little too eager and not having traction control loses out quite a bit of gap between him and Padberg. Now over a second, but I'm sure he's going to make that back. Let's go back to Provolone. So Provolone within 0.2 of a second to Pickerel going, taking the defensive line. Still within half a second. Let's go in car view as Provolone tries to hunt down Mr. Pickerel. Pickerel, another one of our ACC veterans, doing a little bit of iRacing as our group goes in, tries out their Laguna Seca endurance this weekend in iRacing, doing the special event. So quite a few drivers attending that race, or participating in that race, I should say. Jason taking another look as Pickerel goes defensive. Provolone gets a better line out, a little bit of oversteer on exit, loses him that traction that he would need to gain that speed advantage on the straight, but still remaining close within 0.2 of a second. We do have another battle going on up top between Kosovic and Masachero, so let's stick with this for a second. Let's see if he's able to continue to pressure Pickerel into a mistake. Jason's lines doing quite well in maintaining those lines and that pace. Pickerel, couple mistakes here and there, but doing a great job at defending as he has shown his experiences turned out to be quite useful in the past and present. All right, let's pop in and see how Mr. Kosovic is doing here, pressuring Masachero, trying to see if his outright pace that he showed in qualifying is going to be to his benefit. Really pushing hard. Loses the rear end just a little bit, but I expect that some of that straight line speed is going to come in quite handy as Joe stays really close to the Aston Martin here going into the final corner. We'll stick in the heli cam. I expect this is going to be the best view for us. See if that Mercedes is going to pull that gap as they go through the straight, and he has the draft to work with. So Andres not really doing much funny business in trying to break the toe, but just not quite long enough for Mr. Kosovic from 949 Sim Racing to really take it to Andres in that first corner. Still putting quite a bit of pressure as he goes a little wide. Smells blood. He's right there. Takes the inside line. Is he going to be able to make it stick? Because I believe Andres has the inside line now. Just half a car overlap. Both being extremely respectful, giving him some space. And that might be just enough for Andres to get the run into the kink going up the hill to the corkscrew. He still has, this is not a corner you want to go too wide in, but these two guys being so good are able to take it through. Kosovic getting a better run up the hill, trying to do a little bit of a defensive move as Andres moves over to, oh, and they contact. It's okay, they're still good. Going side by side through the corkscrew, but looks like Kosovic comes out ahead. Looking at Andy Oak there having a bit of a problem in his Porsche over there, but what a great wheel-to-wheel battle through that section as Kosovic is able to pull through ahead and leave a little bit of a gap as he powers on through. All right, let's go through and see where the next battle is. It's Burkhoff. As we mentioned, Burkhoff, maybe not the best qualifier, but his in-race pace is phenomenal, and really putting some pressure up on Snyder. Now, it's going to be a little bit difficult with that BMW having some straight line pace, but as they go through the rest of the track, Burkhoff is going to put a lot of pressure onto Snyder. I apologize to whoever just followed. I unfortunately am having problems with our notifications, so I think it might be FanRush XX. Thank you for the follow. If that's you, if it's not you, I'm really sorry. I have to figure out some more details, some more technical issues that I'm having here. But thank you so much for the follow. Hope you're enjoying the race. We've had some incredible wheel-to-wheel battles as we continue to watch Snyder and Burkhoff go at it, going up the hill through the kink. Was that the kink? Yep, kink into the corkscrew. Really putting a lot of pressure. Burkhoff is. Snyder going defensive and going right back onto the line as they go down this corkscrew. Let's see how this looks from the wing. Oh, so close. Both drivers extremely controlled, consistent, showing a lot of skill as we go through this. Burkhoff trying to get a better exit. He's really close, but we could see that BMW straight line power is just enough to continue pulling ahead. Is Burkhoff going to look for the inside? He might just do so. No, but Snyder goes defensive. Burkhoff choosing to try and take a more optimal line to optimize his exit as they go into turn 4, I believe it is. Taking another look. Wow, what a battle here. You know what? Let's go in car. Let's see some of that crazy skill that Burkhoff shows us with one hand, nonetheless, as he's nursing an injury. Thanks, Max. Looks like I'm unable to change those settings while we are streaming, unfortunately. And if you'd like you're welcome to hop in. I assumed you were in the race, but Max Defender, aka Jason Alvarez, our fellow sim racer and teammate of the safety car Audi with Miller and Wassam, and legendary GT3 and previously GT4 commentator. So that's a good question, John. I could tell you for a fact that the GT4s are not in the base content. I can't explicitly say, unfortunately, because I got the DLCs right off the bat. I think right off the bat, so unfortunately I don't know off the top of my head what the base content is, because they're all blended together for me. But there are quite a few cars and quite a few tracks that are in the base content, and the stuff on top of it, which you would need to run any of our leagues, is additional flavor and fun, I would say, as we are watching our DLC content GT4 series here. Less aero, a little bit slower, but hell of fun to race. So really great wheel-to-wheel battles. So, you know, considering Kosovic overtook Andreas quite a few laps ago, it's incredible that they've been able to maintain this close gap. So Andreas really coming back at Joe to try and see if he could make a move back and gain that position, as we have 10 minutes left in our race. I'm hoping someone in chat has the knowledge or the ability to access Google and let you know what the base content is. But if you're looking to get into sim racing, I mean, this is great stuff. I think everybody here will say that we have a great time in the leagues. We have a great time racing in public lobbies, and just a really good experience overall with ACC. Yeah, I you know, glad to see there are more people looking at getting into sim racing. Might be a little bit too early for you to get right into leagues for sure, but please, by all means, feel free to join our community, join our Discord. I believe you could find our Discord linked. As we see Pickerel go wide, we'll see if Mr. Bravo is going to be able to take advantage of the situation. He gets ahead right before the corkscrew, and I'm sure Pickerel is going to be looking at trying to take that position back as he tries to find more consistent pace. But so there is the Humble Bundle right now that's available. Yep, thanks, Max. So it's got, I think, 5 sims that are all out there for $13. An incredible deal. Bravo makes a mistake, goes wide. Pickerel takes back the position. There's too many conversations going on, but it's still, hopefully you guys are enjoying the racing that's going on track. But yeah, ACC and a bunch of sim games. I actually bought it myself for my second computer, and going to be using it to get more people addicted to sim racing as most of us are. But really fun sim to play and practice on, and I think it has valuable information that you learn going into real life racing. I completely agree. I was really hoping that all the DLCs would go on sale because I was trying to buy it for my second game, but unfortunately they didn't. Maybe they will soon. But yeah, so John, ! Discord, if you want to get our Discord link, or discord.gg/Trekalicious, please feel free to join us. We do have tutorials that we do all the time to help coach some of our more inexperienced drivers and really go through and understand what it takes to get faster. Let's pop back into the first and second place battle as Ali Raza has found some pace to really take it to Riley, pressuring him into T2, as it is called, T1 being the kink on the straight. Lots of pressure on Riley. Let's see if he's able to pressure him enough to make a mistake. Incredible battles so far, guys. I hope you guys are enjoying this as much as I am, and not taking away by the mediocre commentary as I strive to live up to the legend that is Whelp Cakes. So close, such a little gap between these two. Yeah, as Max is saying, actually, we're about to launch some fun night races that are for all levels, doing some cat and mouse and a little bit less serious racing to take some of the pressure off the guys that have been putting so many hours into being amazing at the true wheel-to-wheel racing, as Raza and Riley are showing themselves to be. Yeah. ! Discord. By all means, feel free to join us. We have an amazing community, great bunch of people, lots of things to do, and join 949. I believe it's ! 949. Let's try to do that here. Another group of amazing guys. Hey, Cardo, welcome. I would say you've missed a lot, which you've missed a little bit, but still amazing racing as you've seen in the past, and as you've seen a familiar sight here, Raza and Munir going at it wheel to wheel for an entire 25 minutes and maintaining as small a gap as you can, really, within half a second for most of the race. So, but don't fret. We have yet another race to go, as this is only race 1 of our doubleheader tonight in our 8th round of our winter GT4 series. Riley taking it a little bit wide, giving Ali an opportunity yet close the gap even closer. Indeed, absolutely awesome drivers. We've seen amazing things from these two as they come to a back marker, as these guys' pace knows no bounds, being able to loop around and find some of... Ooh, I wish I knew the button to do that. But what I'll do for a second... Yeah. Let's pop back in. They're within a half a second of each other. Let's do this. Let's go to this view. As they come into some lap traffic, is this going to play a part? Mr. Versosa doing the right thing, getting out of the way as these guys battle intensely. Well, Mr. Sword and Keyboard. Oh, Ali going a bit deep, avoiding Riley. We have something coming for you very soon. I know I should know who you are. I don't remember, though. I know you've mentioned this to me before. I apologize. My memory is less than ideal. Oh. No, I thought I knew. But yeah, we are looking at some multi-class races with some of our sim racing league friends, and those are going to be coming very soon. Let's pop back down. 2 minutes left in the race. Less than half a second between these two guys. But even closer, Snyder finding some pace within 2/10 of Mr. Masachero, Andres Masachero, in fourth place. This battle quite intense. Oh, let's hop down here. Looks like some craziness. A bit of contact for Diego. Looks like something happened for him there, but Robert Lewis making his way all the way up to 12th place, starting from the back. Nobody. Now I'm frustrated that I don't have an eidetic memory. But yeah, oh, man, Beltan from the great 949 sim racing community, showing his incredible racecraft, going from 27th, 26th place all the way up to 11th. Great pace over there. But let's look at that gaggle of cars over there. Again, impressive, hugely impressive drive from... Oh, he's a lap down. Sorry, I thought he was right there, but Orozco in 20th position. I thought he was right behind Bravo, but isn't quite the case. But still, showing great improvement with pace through the series. So Bravo trying to put some pressure on Diego, but I think Diego's walking away. So let's hop back. As you say that, Sword and Keyboard, I'm kind of bouncing all over the place trying to catch the intense moments of the last lap of this race. So we have Snyder on Andres, really pushing out. Andres makes a mistake. Snyder being able to take that position. Oh my God, going into the last race. All right, so breathing is optional for the commentator. Catching the action is the most important portion. But so Snyder being able to really pressure Andres into making that mistake, taking that fourth spot. So let's pop into the lead cars over here as Ali Raza really trying to pressure Riley Manier into the mistake. A little bit of team reversal, I guess, here as we see Ali hanging out with the Naps guys quite often and Riley being teammate of Snyder. So, I mean, a whole 30 minutes. Oh, Ali makes a mistake, not really being able to make it stick. So that is going to be first and second. And let's actually try and stick to... Oh, let's move to the camera here. go back and catch that finish here. So Diego coming in 12th. Burkhoff. So that's Padberg. Engelman 8th. So we have Pickrell in 9th. Provolone 10th. Lewis 11th. Making up a lot of ground. Almost getting Provolone towards the end there. Diego in 12th. Lapped car. Orozco, I think that was. Miller 13th. And then Wasem Iglesias, I think, was 14th. Wasem 14th. Iglesias coming in 15th. Beachleaf 16th. I've lost my place here. So it looks like Carnota's finishing in kind of not usual 23rd there, but let's do this really quick. Let's pop our live timing up and then go through the list. All right, so we had Riley Manier in first place, Ali Raza second, Kostovich popping back into third after an error at the start. We can go back and look at Snyder fourth. Great performance by Snyder, making up the field. I believe starting in 8th or 9th, something down there. Andres Mastachero in 5th place. Mike Burkhoff 6th. Again, as we mentioned, the qualifier not being his best skill, but race pace plenty at hand. One hand at that. Padberg 7th. Engelman 8th. Again, how he wrangles that Maserati to do what it does, I don't know. Pickrell 9th. Provolone 10th. Lewis 11th, coming in from the back. Great racecraft from Robert Lewis from 949, a.k.a. Beltan. Diego Mastachero in 12th. Miller 13th. Wasem 14th as the Audi safety team pair go back-to-back. Missing their buddy, Max Alvarez, a.k.a. Jason Alvarez, a.k.a. our awesome commentator, our anchor in the GT3 series, sorry. Justin Beachley just popping into chat in 15th. Barney in 16th. Great performance by him there, Iglesias in 17th. Tansky 18th. Orozco 19th. Andy Oak 20th. Bravo 21st. Must have been an issue there. He was doing much better. I think he was up there somewhere. Versosa. Dan Versosa in 22nd. Chrono, kind of out of position here. Usually much higher in 23rd. Smith in 24th. Denny P in 25th. And Masters closing out. Probably having some difficulty with the ever-challenging Maserati in 26th position. So there you have it, folks. That was race 1. This is where I get to catch a breather. And let's go to the replay. And let's look at what happened to Mr. Kostovich's lap. Oh no, we're gonna get kicked out here. So we're popping right back into qualifying. Might be able to see how Joe went from 3rd down to 5th place, I think it was. It was through the first couple of corners. Does a good job out of T2. Oh, and he finds himself on the outside. T3 loses speed. Going on the sand a little bit. That's where Andres finds the position. Oh, there's the mistake. and then gives it to Diego, Padberg, Masachero, and Engelmann, but comes back at Engelmann and is able to keep the position. Alrighty.
Green light. Go, go, go.
So we'll have a minute to set up. It's always nice to get an apology, but even nicer to avoid the contact, which, all things considered, I think drivers have done a pretty good job here. So let's go sit at the end of the pits here as we see our guys getting ready. And I will excuse myself for 1 second and we'll be right back. Alrighty, we are back. Able to grab a drink of water there as we see it's free practice. I was curious as to why we had Riley out on track, but so yeah, V, I think that bounce in the pits is to essentially simulate the cars coming off of their jacks. So they're lifted and you're doing all the mechanical changes. As you can imagine, setting your tire pressures, adjusting your caster camber, dampers, and then once your engineering of the car and setup work is done, then it pops back down on the wheels. No tire warmers for the GT4s, but remove the tire warmers from the GT3s and then hop onto the track. So it looks like right off the bat, we're going to be looking at some faster lap times. I think we were in the 31, high 31s, 131s for pole position in the previous qualifier. And Riley's already setting 31.7s pre-qualifying, so expect that that's going to get even better. Now, it is in Ali Raza's best interest to really push and get that pole position, as he's seen that it's better to be defending than being defended. That BMW straight line speed is kind of tough to come back from, and Riley, being a really good racer and defender, makes life very difficult. So 11 tenths, Mr. Raza. 11 tenths.
Green light, give it all you can.
Alrighty, as we get ready for our qualifier. So we have a minute of dead time to give our drivers the opportunity to set themselves up, our Div 2 drivers, that is, to set themselves up. Get themselves ready. And as soon as the clock hits 10 minutes, they're going to be able to roll out and go for that hot lap. Drivers lining up here to maximize their times. So we see the Tacos Locos guys always early out there. Here we go, being respectful of the 10-minute marker. Versosa, the left-hand brewing guys, Iglesias, Slow Car Club, and the lovely pink pastel livery. Andy Oak representing Brazil. Oh, I thought, sorry, I think I said Versosa. That was Andy Oak. Versosa was up ahead. Both Brazilians. Alrighty, and the outlap. Just fly back here through some of the cars as they chill in the pit lane. So we see Beltan taking his time. I never noticed the amount of detail that they've put into the sim over here. With all the toolboxes out, ready to go, as hearing that lovely engine roar through the mountains and the elevation of the incredible Laguna Seca. Coming through the back end of the track into the third sector. Getting ready for their first lap. So why don't we hop on with Mr. Orozco and see what he has to offer. Bit tight into the second apex, allowing his teammate to get a nice run ahead of him. As we see Bravo maximizing the usage of the track with his left tires, catching the sand just a little bit there. Is there anyone in chat who knows how to change the overall standings in the left to show deltas? I know Phil, Welp, if you're still there, I know you've told me this before, but I don't remember what the buttons were. That'd be amazing. It'd be really nice to see the deltas up there for the race. You or I. Oh, there it is. Thanks, Max. All right. So it was you for deltas and I for overall list. I need to remember that. So we have Beachley taking P1, or sorry, Miller popping himself into P1 with a 6/10 advantage over Beachley. Looks like both Bravo and Orozco have invalidated their laps, but I think at the position that they are, they will get a third lap in. So we'll just stick with them for the minute. See if they're able to manage a valid lap here, and then we'll pop back down to someone else. Again, Santiago doing a really good job sticking close to Bravo here. Bit of understeer going into that left-hander, fast left-hander. Hopefully both closing out this lap with valid laps. There are 13 seconds left. We'll be able to complete a third lap. So yeah, wow, Orozco out qualifying Bravo for the time being. I'm sure they'll both improve over the next lap, but let's pop back down to Lewis coming in first with a monster lap. 7/10 up on his lap right now. Let's have a look and see. You know what? Let's stick to in-car and see the immense skill that Mr. Lewis shows on track. So Miller trumping first place with a 31.9. That's really close to what we were seeing as pole position in the previous race, but I think Robert Lewis coming in with a firecracker of a lap, finding 6.5 tenths, popping himself back up into first place for Div 2 with a half a second to spare with a 31.4. Great lap by Mr. Lewis. Back down to Bravo. 8 tenths in hand. That'll pop him all the way up to potentially 4th place if he's able to maintain it. Loses a little bit in the previous corner. Hopefully we'll gain some going into the final corner here. Nice patience on the throttle. Unfortunately losing just a little bit, but 6 tenths to gain, getting himself solidly in 5th position. So it's just cool to see that the difference between the drivers, minus Mr. Lewis, who's got half a second in hand, is so close. A couple of tenths between Miller and Wassam. The Audis sticking together. A couple of tenths between him and Pickerel. A couple of tenths between Bravo, Beachley, Orozco, Oak, Iglesias. Versosa, Denny P, and then Smith coming in. And Barney closing off the rear end of the pack. So let's look at what Mr. Raza is doing. So Ali on his first hot lap. Got plenty of room ahead, so nothing that's going to be blocking him there. And his buddy, Mr. Masachero, right behind. Andres keeps saying Masachero, but there's 2 of them, so I have to correct myself and use first names. lovely control on the kink going up the hill here down into the corkscrew. You gotta accelerate out of it, not knowing where you're going, but use the trees in the horizon as reference to really position your car in the optimum line. Come through and see this lead pack go through the start finish line. Manier with a 30.5, Snyder 31.3, Ali Raza 31.2, Masachero 31.3. Now these guys are going to need a monster lap to make up the half a second that Riley's found between sessions. Kostovic 30.8, 1 minute 30.8, 2 tenths. Representing the 949 sim racing community in the 949 sim racing Mercedes. Amazing performance by both himself and Lewis as Lewis, aka Beltan, is hoists himself in 6th position. Using every bit of the racetrack and then some, as you see his left tire dipping into the sand a little bit. Hopefully will not be held up by Mr. Kronotis, who I think is just ahead of him here. Maybe even get a tow. Oh, and does not improve on his time. Ali Raza, however, on his last flying lap. So we gotta, let me pop this up actually, because you'll see a little bit more race control. See what I'm seeing. So you have Riley Manier in first place. Negative on his delta, so he's probably gonna, yep, he just went out on his lap. But then you have a 1.5 tenths gap between Raza and Manier, and he was just 2 tenths up, and now he's 2 tenths down on his lap. Is he going to be able to make it up in the last 2 corners? That's a lot to ask for. Don't think so, but it's gonna have to be a phenomenal corner for him to make up that time, and from the looks of it, isn't quite enough. So yet again, will be tucking himself back into second place, provisionally second. Woo! Another amazing qualifier as we look through the list. Riley Manier back in pole position again with a 30.5, a 10.5 behind Ali Raza in second place. Joseph Kostovic from 949 Sim Racing in third. Andres Masachero in fourth. Let's do our flyby. Hello, Stanst. 86 represent. It is a league, as mentioned by Sword and Keyboard. I think that's you. I think it's Ward. I think it's Dave Ward, if I remember correctly. I'm going to take a guess. It's Dave Ward. Join our Discord as linked there, and let one of the admins know if you have any questions. So 2 minutes and 44 seconds left to get started on our on our race here. Looking at our lovely liveries again. So let's do a quick fly through. Manir, first place. Raza, second. Joseph Kosovic from 949 in third. Masachero from Steez Nation, a.k.a. Nap, also knows the Naps team. Oh, look at that livery. Oh, that lovely livery. V, that logo's not so straight. I think it's straight on the other side. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Yeah, no touchy from Emperor's Groove. Emperor's New Groove, I think it is. No touchy. Left Hand Brewing. Padberg representing the Left Hand Brewing team quite well. Snyder up in sixth. Great lap from him there. Ah, poop. Not Dave Ward. Maybe Dave was Sliven Teen still. I'll keep guessing. I'll keep trying to rack my brain. All right. Beltan coming up in 8th place. First place in class. Engelman, Provolone, Miller, Chronotis in 12th. A little bit more appropriate a position for him. Wassim, 13th. Burkhoff, 14th. We'll see him move up through the pack again, I'm sure. Pickrell, 15th. Bravo, 16th. Beachley, 17th. Orozco, 18th. Andy Oak. Mr. Brazil, 19th. Iglesias, 20th. Fellow Brazilian in 21st. Versosa. Denny P, 21st. Tansky, 23rd. 22nd, 23rd. Dylan Smith in 24th. Barnes in 25th. And rounding out the top drivers in our league, Mr. Rocket Racing himself. In the 90 Maserati is Tanner Masters. Cool. Let's get started, ladies and gentlemen. Fire up your engines. I'm sorry, Willie. I thought you were one of the guys in our league. I was sure I'd seen you here. I know you've been here before, and I apologize for not remembering more correctly. And thank you. The guys and gals in our community do a fantastic job, put a lot of effort into making sure we have not only an incredibly fast grid, but also a good-looking grid. Yeah, unfortunately, Stance, no KTM. I will say that Mr. Kosovic was running the lawnmower last season and still so competitive in it. Just goes to show his incredible talent. But unfortunately, not this season. We'll see him in the Mercedes, being a little bit more competitive up front, not having to deal with some of the shortcomings of the KTM. But we do have an Alpine on track, run by Dan Versosa over here in the lovely livery. So he's usually a little bit farther up the field, but not today for some reason. But yeah, kind of cool to see that odd someone starts taking out the brake markers already. Oh man, I'm really excited to see how I think I'm gonna stick to Helicam for the start here. Really get a better view of the field. Yeah, go Alpine. Odd man out over there. But as everybody starts grinning up. Will Ali Raza get the jump on Riley Manier? Possibly. He needs to be millisecond perfect. Great on the throttle. Just everything must be going for him. Let's go blank here. Let's get all of the action and hope to see. And we have green, go. Riley gets the better start. Raza tucks in behind. Is he going to have a look on the inside? Riley going defensive. Does not quite get the perfect start. Really good start. Kostovic looking on the inside. Take advantage as one of the Masacheros goes wide, but does not quite give up a position. Still has the inside line. Looks like a lot of people got through relatively cleanly. Riley starts walking away, and I'm sure Ali's going to work his way back in. Oh, no! What an epic save! What a huge save by Kostovic. Gets a tap in the back, but is able to save it. Drops a couple positions back, but I don't know too many people who are going to be able to do that. That's incredible. Oh, no, Snyder goes wide. Bit of an incident there. Is fortunately off track. This is just not a great start for Kostovic. Beltan going wide, making sure he doesn't crash into his fellow teammate, 949 partner, avoiding huge collisions, but all in all, could have ended much, much worse for Kostovic. But also, oh, as I say that, oh my, what is going on? People just trying to avoid, but going into the sand. I think that was potentially provolone. Poor Kostovic really getting the short end of the stick 3 times over. Kosti, I don't know what to say. I think I've just witnessed the most unlucky first lap I've ever seen in ACC, by far. I can't tell another time where the same driver has gone into 3 or 4 separate incidents in the first lap. That's unreal. I'm at a loss for words. Mex, you hate to see it. You really do. Wow. Kostovic down into 24th position now. You know what? We're going to keep an eye on Kosti. I expect a legendary drive back. Kosti, we are standing by you. We want to see something phenomenal come through. But while he works his way, let's see Raza put some pressure on Riley Manier for this first place battle. I mean, wow. And it's nothing he could do. There's nothing he could do. It's just stuff that was happening ahead of him. That's just... I'm at a loss for words. There's not much I could say, but... Let's carry on. Plenty of racing to do. Plenty of time. Luckily, it is the doubleheader, so he's got half hour to make up places. This is what happens when you drop the KTM, huh? Maybe it is karma. Maybe it is. But very unfortunate, very sad to see that for any driver, let alone someone with pace like you see from Mr. Kostovic there. But with the mountain of experience that he has from 949 and the extremely competitive racing that you see there, exclamation point 949 if you're looking for another competitive league to join. He's going to come back. I know it. I know he's going to do well. I'm going to go ahead and predict a top 10 finish for him. I want to see it. I know he's going to do it. And as we expected, really close racing from Razumir, but a bit of a mistake giving Riley a bit of breathing room, but I'm sure Ali's going to make his way back. So let's pop back down to Kronotis here as he tries to pressure Wassam into a mistake. Excuse me, I will have to mute myself every so often, trying to overcome a cold here, but mute myself as I sneeze it. But Kronotis trying to pressure Wassam. building up building up a bit of gap between the two. So I think this is going to be an interesting battle considering the closeness of the pace that they have. Tanner Masters finding himself in 12th position, coming in from 26th. He's made up a lot of room in the first lap. Really good first lap for him. Thank you, V. It's just a function of having a kid in school, a kid under 2 in school is you get a lot of first couple of years are just week in, week out of being ill. But small price to pay for having a lovely younglings in the house. Back to the racing. Tanner Masters making up 14 positions in lap 1. Let's go down and look at some of the racing back here in our Div 2. So we have Iglesias to Barney to Andy Oak to Denny P. Denny P to Diego Masachero, all within a pack fighting for position. Yeah, I've been told that I have a younger voice, but let it not fool you. I am a person with 2 kids and a third on the way. But I'll take the youth. Make me feel a little bit younger than I am. That's awesome. Oh, Iglesias sending it on the inside to Frank. Makes it stick. A bit of an ambitious move. And as we mentioned, Coasty coming through up into 18th place. Quite a bit of damage on his car. But come on, buddy. You could do it. I know you can. Gets a great draft through T1. Looking on the inside into T2. Maintaining that position on the inside is going to get the run onto what I believe is T4, looking at taking Iglesias next. Let's go, Coasty. We're rooting for you. Even if you can't hear it, good vibes going your way. Kostovic getting another position. Andy Oak going wide, making a mistake. Oak getting back on track relatively safely, but giving Barnes a position, a.k.a. Barney. So Coasty now looking at Iglesias. Let's stick with him a little bit. See his epic comeback up into potentially 16th place. No, tucking right behind Iglesias. That kink going up the hill. A really risky place to go too wide, as we saw him do a little bit earlier in the race and a little bit in the previous race. So really putting a lot of pressure on Mr. Iglesias here. Gets that inside line. Iglesias going a little bit wide, being respectful, giving Coasty a little bit of room, but a little bit too much room as Coasty finds the gap, but comes right back at him into the penultimate corner. Really good racing between these two, but Coasty still trying to poke his nose into the final corner. Does so. Is it a bit too much? No. Really good line into the exit. Compromises Iglesias' position a little bit as Barney looks on the inside, tries to make up that position as Iglesias has a less than ideal run out. Barney looking on the inside, a bit of contact. Oh no! No, not Coasty! Guys, this is ridiculous. I just can't. I can't. I don't blame him. I don't blame him for going back into the pits. Not for 1 second. That sucks. He wasn't even involved in that one. Ooh, it's just racing. A little bit very unfortunate. Really unlucky for Coasty there. I feel for him. But let's get back into action here as we mourn for the loss of a great driver on track. So Iglesias back here in 15th position, trying to make a move on Denny P. I'm gonna have to change my tone a little bit here. I feel so bad for Kosi. I mean, that's such misfortune. I feel so bad for him. I've never seen anyone get that unlucky. I mean, the first lap in itself was enough to toss your hands up and go, "Come on, what the heck is going on here?" But to continue to be unlucky despite his incredible pace, that just sucks, man. All right, switching gears. Let's go back into some battles. Andrew Pickerel, Jarek Snyder. Snyder down into 20th. Something. Oh, we had the spin early on in the race, I remember, but his pace is still there. Doesn't look like he has much damage. So Snyder and Pickerel looking to get Versosa for the 17th, 18th, and 19th spots. Let's stick with this battle a little bit. It's the closest one on track for the minute. Snyder looking on the inside on Versosa as Pickerel makes his way through. Let's go a little bit farther here. All right, and Snyder makes it through. A bit of a gap between him and Pickerel as Pickerel maybe does a bit more of an efficient job in making it through that position. So Snyder has some work cut out for him to try and make up that gap back. So let's jump back up. Let's look at what's going on with Beachley and Cody Wassam as Beachley tries to take Wassam. Wassam tries to take Chronotis. Within a second of each other, a little bit of room to be made up yet, but yeah, man, that sucks. So we'll stick with this battle for a little bit and watch these guys as they try to close the gap between the three, I should say. So Wassam really doing a good job. Trying to optimize on some of the mistakes that potentially is being made by Chrono up front. Now within half a second of Chrono. Wass really trying to put some pressure onto Chrono. Let's hop in and see how it looks in car. He is getting close, but Chrono doing a good job of keeping his pace up. There is a pretty close battle back here as Iglesias just overtakes Masters, but Masters trying to come back at him. The Maserati having really good straight line speed, so is going to try and make up that position back. Andy Oak trying to take advantage of the battle happening between these two as they inevitably lose time battling each other. Iglesias looks like he's building a bit of a gap. Masters being able to stick his braking point incredibly hard in that Maserati, given that it has no traction control and no ABS. So Iglesias able to walk away there. Now Andy Oak smelling the blood in the water of that red Maserati, trying to really come up to him and close that position. So let's,
We are halfway through, not over yet.
bit of a gap here. Let's pop back into Chrono's view as Chrono's found some pace, dropping Constable Cody Wassam a little bit. Oh, we have a note. Let's watch these two battle. Looks like Snyder and Pickerel down in 16th and 17th, also battling very closely. Let's just see if this move sticks, and then we'll pop back into the Snyder-Pickerel battle. Looks like Snyder just got Pickerel, so unfortunately we missed that, but Snyder's going to be looking to get ahead and grab Andy Oak. I'm sorry, Mike. I unfortunately don't have my second computer available to me right now. Otherwise, we would have been able to use picture-in-picture and catch that replay. Notice really trying to put a lot of pressure onto Bravo. Bravo doing a little bit better this lap, trying to build a little bit of a gap, but Chrono relentless in trying to gain that position. Almost going too wide, but is managing to keep it within limits. Oh, I thought he might have gone a little bit too deep. A little bit of an adjustment. That is definitely a track cut there. Most definitely. But that mistake now puts Cody Wassam right on his tail as we go into the helicam. Look at this action between these three drivers. So Bravo doing a good job defending as he usually does. Chrono taking a lot of curb there. Might cost him some speed on the straight, but these three really fighting for that 8th position as they get closer, as Chrono getting really, really close into these couple corners, but the battle between the front two giving the person in the back, being Constable Cody Wassam, the opportunity to get really close, even if he maybe doesn't have quite the pace on a one-lap speed. Yeah, Ali just looked a little bit earlier, 4-second gap. I'm not sure what's happened. He might have made a mistake, so Riley being a little bit more comfortable in this race than the previous one, but hoping that towards the end we're going to see a tighter battle between the front two. And I apologize for not covering the front two a little bit more, but having one camera to work with, I'm trying to show you guys the best battles that we have on track, or at least the closest ones that I can see. Yeah, like we mentioned earlier, Mike, a lot of straight line power. And while you're in here, Snyder, I should say Chrono, looking really closely, but tries to avoid the incident and compromises his corner. Cody trying to use that to his advantage, but not quite enough as Chrono goes defensive, trying to break the toe from Cody. Still really close to each other. So, Mike, I see you in chat. I assume that there was a first lap incident that maybe caught you out. What happened? Let us know. We were looking forward to your progression. I know you've mentioned that quali is maybe not your favorite thing to do, or not the best thing, but we did see your progression through the last race, and we're hoping for some great action in this one as well. Chrono still trying really hard to get around Bravo. Bravo clearly a little bit behind in paces. There's a relatively big gap ahead between Miller and Bravo, but Chrono really putting the pressure onto Bravo, trying to find the optimal place to overtake. And does he have it here? He looks on the inside, but Bravo comes in, has the outside line. Now the inside is positioned ahead. Cody looking to take an opportunity, but isn't quite in the right position. As you see the person behind, Diego Bustachero coming into the mix. As these three have been fighting, Cody still has the inside line, gets a great exit. Diego making a move at the right time, but just it simply isn't be able to make it stick. Excuse me. I'm very soon gonna run out of breath and voice here, but what an incredible battle to be seeing here. Now a battle of 2 turns into 3, turns into 4, as this quad team goes into the 9th minute remaining of racing. So not too many laps left for these guys to make their moves and try to make it stick, as Bravo makes a mistake and lets Chrono through, comes back in, saves that 9th spot, but Cody Wassam right behind. Chrono is going to try really hard to maintain this position and make the move ahead and continue ahead, with Miller being 12 seconds up ahead, but that's such an unfortunate time to have made a mistake. Diego really looking at the position on the inside, going too wide up the kink into the, oh no, we missed it. I'm going to pop back out into this, trying to go too wide up the kink now. Now Chrono has made his way ahead. Bravo still sticking behind. Diego looking on the inside, goes too deep. Cody keeping a calm head, doing the right thing. Great racing by these two. Incredible level of intellect. 5 heading that corner, allowing Diego to go through off track and making his way through the corner as if nothing ever happened, and maintaining the position nonetheless. But you know what? He's right back on him, so this is not over just yet, ladies and gentlemen. So let's pop up while these two get back into control of things. We have Robert Lewis from 949 in the 949 numbered 949 liveried car, trying to take it to Engelman. So Engelman being in the Ferrari, not the Ferrari, the baby Ferrari, I should say, the Maserati. Cardo, wink, wink, Maserati. Towards the end of this race, he's going to be having some trouble with the tires there. I think he came on chat saying that he had square tires towards the end of the race, so I'm assuming that he's going to be having quite the time trying to wrangle this Maserati to stay on track and keep traction while he puts the incredible power and the incredible sound of the Maserati down, as Robert really finding that line to close up that gap. Crazy battle between these two. So let's go into passenger cam. He's going to be pushing hard these last couple of laps to try and force Jeremy into an error. Jeremy being one of our awesome master liverers here at Trackless Sim Racing. Incredible talent when it comes to making liveries. This one he's running is not his own. It's made by Tanner Masters, another one of our incredible livery makers. But look at that speed that the Mercedes has down the straight, and the draft helping him even then some. Looking on the outside, wheel to wheel, trying to make pressure Jeremy into an error, but it maintains a level head, is able to stay ahead. But Robert Lewis sticking right behind that Maserati, pressuring him even more through this lap. They only have 3 or 4 laps, sorry, I should say 4 or 5 laps left in the race, but incredible driving by these two. Great control by Jeremy Engelman up ahead in the Maserati, but I am sure that Robert Lewis is not going to be so kind and not just going to let him stay there. He's going to continue pressure into, hopefully, on his perspective, forcing Jeremy into an error, but we will see how this one plays out. Really close again. Pop back into the TV cam just to get an idea of how close these two are. Into the corkscrew, trying to go too wide. Robert really trying to pressure Jeremy into that defensive line. Takes a lot of the curb. Maybe gives Robert an opportunity to get a good run out of the corkscrew. Getting really close again. This is really where we're going to have to focus on these two guys going into the straight as we go into the last corner. We'll see if Jeremy's able to put the power down without losing that rear end. Really patient. Looks like he does a good job, but is it going to be enough? Let's see. Power of the Mercedes, power of the Maserati, but toe from the Maserati. Is he going to have enough speed on the straight? Goes defensive. Robert really applying as much pressure as he can. Jeremy going a little bit wide, but gets a better run out of turn 2. Still there. Little wide, giving Jeremy some breathing room. Welcome, Huff, as we are watching this incredible battle between Jeremy Engelman and the legend himself, Robert Lewis from 949 Sim Racing, putting a lot of pressure on our Jeremy Engelman, and he makes the mistake, goes wide, but loose for Robert Lewis. They are side by side going up the kink. Does he have enough? Is there going to be a mistake? No, he is able to make it through. I apologize for the cough, guys, but this is incredible battle between these two. Great defending by Engelman. Great attack by Lewis. Just a little bit of looseness in the back end from the Mercedes, allowing Engelman to stay up ahead. 2 more laps remaining. Great battle. Yeah, it's crazy. The decision to go too wide into the kink isn't something that a lot of people would do, as we see Versosa up wide over there. And a little bit of lap traffic coming into play. Is that lap traffic or... Yeah. No, don't get involved. Whoever you are, get out of the way. They're 3 wide. 3 wide into the first quarter. No, it's not lap traffic. This is for position. Padberg trying to defend. Looks like he had made an error. Engelman making his way through. That was for position. Padberg has every right to be defending his position. That was a mistake by your amateur commentator here. Padberg really now giving Jeremy a breathing opportunity as he's now defending Robert Lewis for this position. So Engelman making his way into 4th position. Padberg in 5th. Lewis in 6th. Padberg looking to make the move, goes a little wide, but is able to keep it in check. Gonna go helicam. Let's get a better view of what's going on here. Lewis trying to get a better exit out of the out of corkscrew, but not quite enough. We have another battle down below between Masachero and Bravo, but I think we're going to stick with this one as Beltan breaks as late as humanly possible. Gets a run. Is it going to be enough? So we have the battle for 4th, 5th, and 6th. Padberg onto Engelman, Lewis onto Padberg. Goes in, sticks his nose. Perfect braking by young Jakob Padberg. Is able to get the position back. What a phenomenal move by Padberg. Really level-headed as Engelman makes a bit of a mistake. And that contact between the two gives Padberg a bit of breathing room. I'm sure these guys are going to want to come back. There is a lap or 2 remaining. And we see Lewis find the inside, now the outside, going side by side, going up the hill. Are they going to be side by side into the kink again? I think they are. Lewis has a bit of a run. He makes it through. Now the real question is, are they going to be able to catch Padberg up ahead? I don't know what happened before. Miller... I'm sorry, Miller. I'm sorry I said anything. I think I saw him spin in the background there. I did not mention your name. That never happened. Commentator's curse doesn't exist. But let's see if Lewis and Engelman are going to be able to keep up that pace and bring Padberg down. So they have a lap remaining. Final lap. 2 seconds to catch up to Padberg. Oh, as Engelman getting real throttle happy in the back there. So I think he's going to settle into that 6th position. But Miller right behind, less than a second behind, is going to be hungry for that spot. And let's see if he's able to do anything. So up ahead, Manir now a 10-second gap to Mastachero. Something happened to Raza. I apologize. I missed that, but Manir in first place, Raza second, or Mastachero second. 9 seconds between the two. 9 seconds to Raza, another 9 seconds to Padberg, and then Engelman now within a second to Lewis, who is chasing down Padberg, but that gap, I don't know, might be too much for 1 lap remaining. So let's see, Mastachero, Diego chasing down Bravo. This might be the battle to watch. So we might be missing as let's pop back in and say congratulations, Riley Manir, as he crosses the finish line. But since we saw that, let's go back to Mastachero. We have half a lap remaining, closest battle on track. After a half-hour racing, there is only a half a second between these two. He's going to be really pushing hard to try and get this position from Bravo. Let's see if he's able to do it. He only has a couple of corners left. Really able to get close. A bit of looseness from the Aston there. Let's go in, car. He's going to have to get a great exit out of this corner. Set himself up. Might not have been quite enough. Yeah, unfortunately for Diego, he's going to have to settle for that 9th place. A great battle, though, nonetheless. Snyder behind Wassim. So 10th for Beachley, 11th than Wassim. Snyder, 12th place. Andy Oak, 13th. Iglesias, or I should say almost 13th. And then Iglesias coming in at 14th. Cronotis in 50th. And then Pickrell finishing up that 15th position as the remainder of the cars, or most of the cars, were lapped. And we could breathe. Indeed, Cardo, that was a phenomenal race. While in the first race we were really focused on the top 3 or 4, this race was a little bit different, looking more through the mid-pack. And let's go through our replay here. Let's look at race 1. All right. Let's see if we can find some of our winners. Mr. Manir.
Hello.
2 for 2.
Yeah, that was one hell of a drive. I was really happy with that.
So, race 1. A lot of pressure from Ali Raza.
Yeah, he was quick in race 1. I made a few mistakes here and there. I just didn't have the control that I kind of wanted, but it took a minute, but we got there to the end, and I was able to hold him off, so I was pretty pumped about that.
So that was very interesting to watch. I think there were a couple of mistakes on your end that really got Ollie like super close to you, but your defending was next level, so you were able to maintain the position.
Yeah. I just put the car where it needed to be. It's tough to take around to overtake her on this track, especially with the BMW having such great corner exit speed. So I was pretty much just able to hold them off like that.
Now, what I do want to talk to you about is race 2. So you were able to maintain, or I should say, Ollie was able to maintain within a half a second of you the entire race in race 1. In race 2,
Yeah.
you were gone. What is the difference, Mr. Munir, that you found? What magic sauce were you using that changed between race 1 and race 2 to give you that additional pace that you were looking for?
I don't know. I just felt a little more comfortable. I don't know if that was the track conditions that changed that suited the car better, but I kind of just started putting laps down, and like when I hit that 1 minute 30.4, I knew right away that I was like, okay, this is different. This feels better. I feel like I'm more in control. I wasn't slipping as much, and yeah, it was able to just keep the car on the track much easier. So I
Did
had a
you
little more confidence.
did you have setup changes between 1 and 2? Because
Uh,
we did see you pop out into practice.
Yeah, I think it was just a slight setup change. I think it wasn't too much. It was just like lowering the preload a little more, and that helped me, I think, a little bit. So I would say that was part of it, and then tire pressures.
So,
I think my tire pressures were a little too
so,
high that race.
so what you're saying is tire pressures and preload is the difference between rocket ship Riley and warp speed Riley.
Uh, I don't know about that.
I
I
mean,
think I
that's
was just a little more consistent that second race, and I appreciate the kindness, the kind words, but I think it was just a little more consistency. I know Raza made a few mistakes here and there, but I was just, yeah, it was just consistency, nothing crazy.
you
Thank you,
know,
Cardo.
we will say one thing that I want to add that there were a couple of situations where Cardo potentially had not Cardo, sorry, I just saw someone make a comment in chat, but Raza had an opportunity, but he, rather than crashing into you, he chose to go wide. So like full credit to the guy and being extremely respectful on track. And when the situation arose where there may have been enough of an excuse for him to say, hey, you made a mistake, and how was I supposed to react? He chose the higher ground and diving off and not hitting you.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for him missing me. But there were a few times where I just was trying to, when I saw him brake late, I tried to dive to the inside to get out of his way so he had that room.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
it was just a lot of luck, a lot of good luck today. If Ed and Danny were here, I think it might have been a different story, but they're not, so I'll take what I can get.
Yeah, we're definitely missing the Area 52 guys. I'm not sure what. I think Ed is just busy with life and stuff, and I think Danny's preparing himself for the big boy championship, the SRO. So very
yeah.
happy for him. He qualified for that and is going to be amazing in it, I am sure. So
Oh, that's awesome. I did not know that. Congrats, Danny. That's great. Represent Area 52 well, man.
yeah, for sure. The legend himself, the OG alien. With that being said, we have Mr. Jeremy, aka Jet Engelman, in here. Riley, if you could you do us a favor and maybe grab Raza and whoever else, and
Need some
Masachero,
admin privileges to do that. I need to be able to jump in that full room.
Yeah. Okay, let's give you that real quick. All right, you're good to go.
Thank you.
Mr. Engelman, the Maz Wrangler.
Yeah, another decent night.
So
I want to go back to what you were saying about Raza because I totally agree. Every time I've gotten into a scrap with him, it's always been really good and fun and respectful. And yeah, I really appreciate that. And I also, leading into that, I want to give a shout out to Ryan Lewis, who ended up getting around me, but we had a really, really good scrap for a few laps. And it was the same thing for him. It just felt like I knew I wasn't in trouble. So yeah, it was good. Shout out to a lot of the guys that are up there. I
So
like their driving.
So as I was joggling my brain a little bit there, I will make a slight correction in that it is Robert Lewis, leader of 949,
What did
co-leader
I
of
say?
949, Ryan. But that's okay. A lot of names,
Oh.
as we were saying earlier in chat. We were trying to figure out who Sword and Keyboard was. Mr. Willie. Now I know. I'll try to remember. But yeah, Beltan, we watched a bunch of that fight. Unfortunately, saw you make an error with, a lap and a half to go. But what a great battle between the three of you. In that it was, I believe it was you, Lewis, and Padberg coming into the mix, having looked like he had made a mistake up ahead, but not. I mean, that was phenomenal to watch. Why don't you walk us through what was going through your head in the last couple of laps as you saw Padberg make it into your view?
Yeah, no, it was. I knew it was going to be exciting. Padberg's a tough driver. Really likes to get really close alongside you, and it was still. I mean, it was the same thing. It was just respectful on his part too. But I was, both races kind of by the end. I was nursing a pretty bad flat spot on my front inside, my front left. So I was just kind of slowly losing more and more pace, and I could tell my braking was getting worse at the hard braking zones like T2 and this corkscrew. And so, yeah, I saw, it's kind of, even though I saw Padberg, I was a little bit more concerned with Lewis catching up with me because I just didn't think I was going to have the pace to get up there with Padberg. But it was a lot of fun, even though I didn't get the same outcome race two. It seemed more fun to me than race one.
Yeah, I think we noticed that you were more in the mix up there, but did you win both Div 2s, I think? Right?
Yeah, Robert Lewis got around me. Beltan got around me.
Oh, the second one. That's of course. We were just talking about that. But yeah, won the first one in the first race. So congratulations to you. Great performance through the night and clean races. Awesome to watch. So great job. That being said, let's hop back to our Div 1 drivers, Mr. Raza, Mr. Masachero. You guys, as friendly as you are with each other, you always seem to be in the mix. Now, Ali, we saw you on the hunt the entire time for race 1.
I was, yes.
And then we were a little bit sorry, Riley, who just hopped down, rooting for you in quali 2, because thinking that, all right, he really needs to get ahead here. And you guys were so close through that entire session, both in quali and race 1. Tell us what you were thinking in the second race. Like, what happened there for you?
In the second race, yeah, in the quali, I think I would have gotten pole, but I just messed up in the third sector, like just a little bit, and I lost like 2/10. And because of that, I came second. I could have gotten pole, but I don't know. After that, I was on Riley in the beginning of the race. Then I think in one of the sausages, I hit one of the sausages and I went off track. And then Riley was ahead of me like by 4 seconds. And then after that, me and Riley were kind of similar pace, so I couldn't really catch up. And then I think near the end of the race, one of the back markers had an incident. They crashed, and I don't know. I misjudged the way he was going on the road, and he pressed the brakes. And that threw me off. I just slammed into him. Had severe damage.
So,
And then,
yeah, we were wondering what happened in that second race, because we looked at one point and you were 4 seconds behind Riley, and then all of a sudden Andres was 10 seconds behind Riley and you were 10 seconds behind him, so I assume that was the incident that caused it.
yeah, I was way too slow, and yeah, I let Andres by, and there were only 3 laps left or something, so there was no point pitting, so I just pushed through and I got a podium. It's good enough.
Yeah, that's excellent to finish after that much damage. Now going down to you, Mr. Masachero. Couple of
Yes.
questions.
Mhm.
What's the age gap between you and your brother? We were trying to figure that out in chat.
5 years.
5
Yeah.
years.
Yep.
That's
sir.
so we were saying it's so cool to see you guys both into the same hobby, both having relatively similar pace. One of the things that I've been noticing is that Diego's been a lot closer to you as of recently than in the past. Like he's been maybe out qualifying you a couple of times here and there, ahead of you a couple of times in the race, but I think from what we've seen, you always end up finding the little bit that you need in the race. So, how's that been going? Have you noticed the same thing, or is it just my
I have.
imagination?
Listen, my brother, if you give him a car, any car, and you don't tell him to practice or whatever, and we do the same situation, like we're on the same situation, he is so quick, like just talented. He's so quick. Because he's in school and he doesn't have, and he's working as well, it's hard for him to get some lap time in and some seat time. But I mean, if we compare, like if I were to be in the same car, same situation, no practice, no nothing, my brother kicks my butt. Let's be honest, like my brother will kick my butt if we are in the same car without practice. He adapts a little bit quicker than I do, whereas I need to sort of understand the racing line, understand where I need to go and stuff. I really need the seat time, and I unfortunately I didn't have a chance to practice this week and you know and be up there with the top boys, fighting it out really close by. But I
we
think
have
we'll do all right.
we have a proposed solution for Diego. Quit school, problem solved.
Yeah.
This coming from the only person who gives education in sim racing, the coach himself, Cardo Weska. That's funny. But so we're saying Diego for raw talent, Andres for grind, huh?
Diego would be a Messi. I would be a Cristiano Ronaldo. Let's put
Ooh,
it that way.
I don't
Let's
even
put
know
it
how
that
to
way.
take that. I don't even know which direction that means.
One's raw talent, the other one's pure dedication and training.
Wow. But either
funny.
way, I think what we've been noticing is a really fun battle between you and your brother in the last couple of races. So that variation that we've been seeing and that your brother finding a little bit of pace relative to you has ended up in some really great battles between you two. And obviously you guys are going to be respectful towards each other, or maybe not so much given that you're brothers, considering I have a younger brother as well. We have gotten into a couple of tiffs in our younger days, but really great to watch. Anything you wanted to add about your races? I think relatively isolated, but a lot of pressure from
Yeah.
Coasty in that first race.
Kosi is an unbelievable driver, and the pressure he puts on you, and you just have to keep thinking, what's he gonna do? What's his next move? Because he's a very great driver. He's sort of, I would say, he's a great clean. Like we respect each other when we race, and you can see that. And we try to always give each other some room. But he's very quick to sort of pull a dummy and then go on the outside, or and try to get you that way. He's very talented driver. And unfortunately, on the second race, we couldn't battle any longer. I'm not too sure what happened. I think he must have hit. I don't know. I must have hit like a dirt patch or something. But we were we were fighting for so long, and I was able to hold on, but just my tires in the first race gave out. Fun race regardless, I think.
Coasty had the most unlucky first lap I have ever seen in all my races in ACC. Like it's so bad that it's worth going back and watching the replay, because we go, oh no, that was unfortunate. He caught it, but he's still good. Oh no, he got hit again. Oh no, he got it again. So it's it's on. I had to stop talking because I just didn't know what else to say. So unfortunately for Coasty, but to his benefit, that race one, he did a phenomenal job, and you guys had a great race. So, yeah, thank you. Awesome racing, guys. Really good to see you guys doing a great job again, and look forward to seeing you guys again for our last and final race next week.
Yeah, a lot of different podiums. I think, whereas 1, 2, or 3s are going. I think that's crazy. It's been fun. It's been a fun couple races here, honestly.
Definitely, really, I 100% agree. And not only, I mean, what's cool about it is they're not just incredible pace from you guys, but the battles have been unreal.
Mm-hmm. I'll
So
agree to that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys. I'll always say this. I hate not racing. It's something that I wish I could, I wish I could do more of it. But if I were to broadcast, these were the races I would want to do because you guys put on a great show.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Alrighty. Well, that is it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. I will take a quick second to let you guys know about what we got coming up. So March 31st will be our last race. So that's next week, triple header in Imola for GT4s. And then coming up this Sunday, we have Kailami, a doubleheader 30-30, and then finishing up the last week of GT3 at Nürburgring on April 3rd. Finally, I wanted to let you guys know, for those that are interested, we have our last and final race of our 2-hour 40-minute solo enduro on April 9th on Kailami. Come and join and watch the incredible battle that we've witnessed between Racer X, aka Mike Jackson, John Salmoni, aka Salmon, and Kostovic being quite in the mix, and others. So really cool race coming up. Those of you who haven't done the first couple of races, it doesn't matter. 2 hours, 40-minute enduro, a battle of mind, a battle of physical fitness. Just awesome. This is really, really fun race to be in. Really fun race to watch. So join us on April 9th at noon Eastern for our final chapter of our solo endurance series. So really hope to see you guys there. For all of you who are still here, thank you so much for sticking around. Really appreciate everybody watching. Hope you had a great time. Hope you enjoyed the races. Hope you were able to bear some of the amateur commentary coming from me. With that being said, let's find someone to pop into and hopefully find a good stream out there. Let's go for... Let's see who's online. Let's go for Brian over here. So before we get out of here, thank you all again for sticking around, and hope you have a great rest of your day, night, wherever you are. Good evening, good day, good morning. This is Eric Lucassian from Trackalicious Sim Racing. Thank you all for being around. Hope to see you next time.